The most powerful law of the Kybalion was never printed. The 8th Hermetic law was hidden, and this video is where you finally remember it. Erased from the Kybalion, this principle holds the power to shift your life at the root. Because once you awaken it, you stop chasing alignment and start embodying it. If you've ever felt like something was missing, even after learning all the laws, it's because this one was never meant to be studied. It was meant to be lived. And when you do, your thoughts sharpen, your emotions elevate, and life begins to respond in ways you've never seen. By the end of this video, you won't just think differently, you'll exist in a different vibrational reality. If your soul is ready to experience that shift, subscribe now and begin your return. You've heard of the 7. But what if the most powerful law was never written? What if what was left out is what reveals the initiate? This isn't just secrecy, it's sovereignty, a force too vast to be named yet impossible to ignore. The Kybalion never explained the space between the lines. But silence doesn't mean absence, it means initiation. Some called it the law of the observer, others, divine neutrality. It can't be obeyed, only embodied. The ancients passed it through pauses, not books. They said, the 8th law isn't taught, it's remembered. Not a rule to apply, but a state to awaken. You don't use it, you enter it. You don't master the laws by controlling them. You master them by becoming the space they move through. The 7 are frequencies. The 8th is the field that holds them all. Truth doesn't shout. It hums beneath what you resist. You suffer not by breaking laws, but by forgetting who you are. The true initiate doesn't apply the law. They dissolve within it. They stop trying and shift everything through stillness. There's power in neutrality, not passivity, sacred presence. The silence between fear and desire. The point where duality collapses. Most people seek the light. The awakened become it. If something woke up in you right now, this isn't coincidence. The 8th law isn't missing, it's hidden in plain vibration. Initiation doesn't begin with knowledge. It begins when you stop running from silence. That's why it was never written, only lived. You don't need to define it. You need to rest in it. It lives in the breath between thoughts. The soul doesn't describe it. It returns to it. Don't wait for clarity. Walk, and the path will remember you. Hey, if this idea cracks something open inside you, leave a like. It tells the algorithm this message matters. You're not here to fix the world. You're here to remember how it responds to your frequency. What if the law that governs all others is silence? And what if you've always heard it, just beneath the noise? You've followed the 7, now become the 8th. Something deeper is already unfolding. Everything you see is a manifestation of thought. The universe is alive, thinking itself into form. Mentalism is the core principle. Your thoughts create your experience. This is not metaphor. The mind isn't just a tool. It is the matrix from which everything emerges. You're not observing the universe, you're inside it. Your consciousness is the canvas, and your thoughts, the brush. Everything is mind. The all is thought. In this vastness, your beliefs shape your reality. What you focus on expands. The observer creates the observed. Your mind shapes everything, from the grand cosmos to the smallest detail. Think scarcity, and you'll live it. Think abundance, and that will be your reality. The universe isn't random. It's a living thought. Quantum physics already speaks your language. The observer effect proves this. Your consciousness influences matter. You are the creator of your own perception. What if everything happening around you is a reflection of your thoughts? The illusion of separation is the greatest deception. The mind doesn't just interpret, it projects. What if the walls you see aren't real, just thoughts made solid? Your thoughts are your reality. So what if the universe isn't something you see, but something you experience through your mind? What if everything you've called life is the universe speaking your deepest thoughts back at you? Pause and feel this for a second. If everything is mental, what would your reality look like if you changed your mind? Nothing happens by chance. Every event is the echo of a frequency you once released. Your life is not random, it's recursive. The field reflects back what you vibrate into it. Thoughts are causes, emotions are seeds. Actions are only the final ripple. You don't live what you want, you live what you generate. Your reality is a garden. What are you planting? The law doesn't punish, it mirrors. It doesn't care what you intend, only what you emit. Guilt, fear, resentment, they echo back in strange forms. The universe listens to your frequency, not your words. Imagine your life as a field. Every emotion, belief, or thought is a seed. Some bloom quickly, others take years, but none go unplanted. Let me tell you a story. A young man asked a wise gardener why his life always failed. The gardener replied, "You want an oak tree with the patience of a flower. That's the law. It never skips the seed. Most people try to change the fruit, not the root. They blame the season, not the soil. But nothing external shifts if the inner vibration stays the same. Emotion is the raw material of expansion. If you're living cycles of pain or limitation, look at the patterns you've been feeding. The law of cause and effect isn't mystical, it's mechanical. Change the signal, and the echo changes. And here's where it gets deeper. You're not just experiencing your own causes, you're also echoing collective ones. The field holds both personal and collective unconscious. You don't have to force change, just sow something different. New thoughts, higher emotions, intentions in coherence, brain plus, heart in coherence, new field signature. Now you're planting consciously. If that landed for you, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Maybe their garden just needs a new seed. What if karma isn't punishment, but precision? And what if your next life shift begins with one tiny inner shift? Nothing moves in a straight line. Everything rises and falls, like breath, tides, heartbeat. This is not failure. This is rhythm, and rhythm is sacred. You're not broken when things fall apart. You're not regressing, you're spiraling. You're revisiting the same point but from a higher frequency. Think of life as a spiral mountain. You pass the same view again, but from above. What once triggered you now feels small. That's not repetition, that's elevation. But here's where most people suffer. They think they're going backwards, when they're just entering the valley between expansions. The field breathes, and so should you. Even stars pulse. Even. Oceans rest. Why wouldn't your energy ebb and flow? The universe doesn't punish stillness, it moves through it. Financial markets, relationships, emotions, all follow rhythm. Growth never happens in a straight line. If you're down, it's not the end. It's a divine inhale before the next rise. Let me ask you, have you been judging your pauses when they're actually sacred recalibrations? Rest is part of creation. When you resist rhythm, you suffer. When you accept rhythm, you rise. You stop forcing and start flowing. You stop fighting and start transmuting. And during your next low, remember, this too is part of the code. Your job is not to stay up, it's to ride the pulse consciously. If this brought peace to your process, drop a comment. What cycle are you currently learning to respect? You're not stuck. You're just in between notes of the symphony, and the next movement is about to begin. Everything you fear is just energy waiting to be refined. Polarity doesn't mean opposition. It means spectrum. Love and hate aren't enemies. They're frequencies on the same string. True alchemy begins when you stop rejecting the shadow. You don't erase fear. You raise it into courage. You don't kill anger. You refine it into action. You don't run from pain. You transmute it into fuel. Your darkness is not the end. It's the beginning of mastery. Cold and hot are not different. Substances are just vibration. So are sadness and joy, doubt and clarity. The same material, different temperatures. What if your negativity is just your potential, unrefined? Here's what no one teaches. You don't heal by cutting away parts of yourself. You heal by elevating their frequency. That's what ancient alchemists meant by turning lead into gold. Let's make this practical. When you feel rage, breathe it into motion. Move, create, express. When grief visits, let it speak. Then lift it into meaning. Emotion is the raw material of expansion. Alchemy isn't about being pure. It's about being whole. The more you integrate, the higher you vibrate. The field doesn't respond to perfection. It responds to coherence. And when your energy becomes coherent, you stop trying to escape yourself. You become the crucible, the sacred container where transformation actually happens. By the way, this is the exact moment to tap into an ancient power most forgot. If this resonates, check what Thoth revealed about vibrational mastery. You'll never feel emotion the same way again. Your fire isn't here to destroy you. It's here to forge the new version of you. So ask yourself, which feeling have you been running from when it's actually your next doorway? You don't need to fix who you are. You need to elevate it, and the moment you do, the gold was never outside you. Most people think purpose is a destination, something you chase, achieve, and hold forever. But what if purpose isn't fixed? It moves with you. What if the shift you're resisting is actually your next mission? Purpose doesn't arrive. It reveals, and it changes every time you expand. That dream you had, it served you until it didn't. You didn't fail. You outgrew the version of you who wanted it. Imagine throwing small, glowing orbs in a field. You run toward one, feel alive. Then another appears. Each ball pulls you forward, reshapes you, dissolves the old. Purpose isn't linear. It spirals upward. The mistake isn't changing direction. The mistake is thinking you're wrong for evolving. Alignment means listening to what's true now, not clinging to what once made sense. You're not inconsistent. You're expanding. And every time you abandon a dream that no longer fits, you prove that your soul is still alive, still curious, still evolving. Let go of the shame of letting go. Purpose doesn't punish you for pivoting. It asks you to change, because you're not the same. The spiral keeps turning. Are you turning with it? Some of your greatest steps will feel like loss, like confusion, like what now? But if the ground disappeared beneath your feet, maybe it's because wings are next. Hey, if this moment landed, drop a like to remind the field you're ready to walk with purpose, not against it. By the way, what if Thoth never meant for you to find your path but to become it? His forgotten teachings open that doorway. So I'll ask you this. What desire are you holding that no longer resonates? Can you release it, not with fear, but with reverence? Talker, spiral isn't asking for control, it's asking for trust. And trust is how purpose breathes through you. The universe isn't chaotic, it's coded. Behind every experience there's a pattern. Not random, not personal, just precise. The 7 Hermetic laws are that code. You've probably tried to use them one by one. Mentalism here, vibration there. But that's like trying to read a map with only one road. They weren't meant to be separated. They're a system. Every law activates the others. To understand rhythm, you must see polarity. To use cause and effect, you must start with mentalism. It's not a list, it's a tapestry. Imagine pulling a thread from a sacred cloth. You don't just remove a line, you unravel the design. That's why most people feel lost in their practice. They're applying principles out of context. Let's simplify. Mentalism, all is mind, the beginning of creation. Correspondence, as within, so without. The mirror, vibration, nothing rests, the pulse of existence. Polarity, 2 sides, same source, the scale of energy. Rhythm, the sacred breath, expansion and contraction. Cause and effect, no accidents, just echoes. Gender, the union, creation, needs both force and form. When you see them together, you start to dance with life. You don't just react, you read the rhythm. You don't just desire, you emit intention. Alignment between intention and the field creates reality, and Eintoen. Here's what makes it powerful. You stop asking, why is this happening? You start asking, Which law is moving here? That question unlocks awareness like nothing else. Hey, if this connected dots you didn't know were missing, drop a comment. Which law always calls you back? This universe wasn't made to punish you. It was coded to awaken you. And now that you see the design, are you ready to use it? You've heard the laws, but how do you live them? This is where most seekers stop. In theory. But the field doesn't respond to theory. It responds to coherence. Mentalism. Your thoughts are the blueprint. Start your day with aligned intention. Change your inner dialogue. Shift the matrix. Focus, plus, emotion, creation, correspondence, outer chaos. Check your inner world. Clean your room. Journal your thoughts. Organize your space and watch clarity return. As within, so without isn't. Philosophy, it's instruction, vibration. You attract what you embody. Gratitude isn't just a list, it's a state. Keep a journal, dance, breathe, laugh on purpose. Emotion is the raw material of expansion. Polarity, feel the negative, slide the scale. Anger, move it into momentum. Sadness, channel it into meaning. You don't fight the dark, you raise the light. Rhythm, energy dips, rest. Don't guilt yourself for being human. Take action when you're high, reflect when you're low. You're not lazy, you're in a cycle. Cause and effect, watch your patterns. What you do, think, and feel now is planting the future. Adjust small things, sleep, food, thoughts. The chi field magnifies tiny signals over time. Gender, balance interaction and receptivity. Sometimes the answer isn't to do more, but to feel deeper. Listen first, then act. Masculine plus feminine. Creation. When you live like this, life becomes the lab. You're not chasing miracles, you become one. The difference is embodiment, and you're ready now. Before the last truth is revealed, share this with someone who's ready to stop learning and start living. It could be the reminder they didn't know they needed. This isn't self-help, it's self-alchemy. And you just stepped into the lab. If you made it here, it wasn't random. This wasn't just a video. It was a key, not for your mind, but for your memory. Now the path is yours to walk. You've remembered the laws. You've seen the code behind the chaos. But knowledge isn't enough. Power lives in practice. This moment right now, it's your invitation to shift, not by doing more, but by being aligned. The field responds to your inner signature. You've felt it, haven't you? That subtle knowing pulsing in your chest. It's not anxiety, it's activation. Your soul recognizing truth, and you're not alone. Others are waking up too, quietly, powerfully. Subscribe and leave a like. Honor your crossing. Write in the comments, I'm walking with the laws, not against them. Share with one person who's ready to stop surviving and start remembering. Now that you've activated the forgotten law, open the next gate. Learn the 41 hidden teachings that instantly recalibrate your energy.